I thought it wasn't stranger, but the Galaxy Princese curled up in my cabin now she won't leave. Asterisk Marcus Chen walked through the busy halls of Kepler Station with heavy bags of supplies. His old boots made soft sounds on the metal floor. The station was always noisy, people talking, machines humming, and ships coming and going. Marcus had been a cargo ship captain for 10 years. He knew this life well. The supply run had taken longer than he wanted. Food packages, engine parts, and medical supplies filled his bags. His ship, the Wandering Star, waited in docking bay. 7. It was not a fancy ship. The paint was old and scratched, but it was his home, and it had never let him down. Marcus reached his ship and pressed his hand on the scanner. The door opened with a soft hiss. He stepped inside and felt the familiar warmth of home. The lights turned on automatically. Everything looked normal until he walked toward his cabin. Something was wrong. His cabin door was slightly open. Marcus always kept it closed. He put down his bags quietly and moved closer. Through the gap, he could see a small figure in the corner of his room. Marcus opened the door slowly. On the floor, curled up like a scared animal, was a young woman. She was not human. Her skin had a soft blue color that seemed to change to silver when the light hit it. She was wrapped in his old gray blanket, the one he kept for cold nights. The woman looked up at Marcus with large, frightened eyes. Her face was thin and tired. Small cuts covered her arms. She tried to move away from him, but she was too weak. "Hey," Marcus said softly. He held up his hands to show he meant no harm. "It's okay. You're safe." The woman stared at him. She did not speak. Marcus knelt down slowly, staying far enough away so she would not feel trapped. "Do you understand me?" he asked in basic galactic standard, the simple language most aliens could speak. The woman nodded slightly. "Are you hurt?" Marcus asked. She touched her arm where a cut looked deep. "Little," she said in broken galactic standard. Her voice was soft and musical. Marcus stood up carefully. "I have medical supplies. Let me help you." He went to the small medical box and took out bandages and healing gel. The woman watched him with suspicious eyes. When he came back, she did not move away. "May I?" Marcus asked, pointing to her arm. She looked at him for a long moment. Then she nodded. Marcus cleaned her cuts gently. The woman winced but did not cry out. Her skin felt warm under his hands. The healing gel worked quickly. The cuts began to close. "What's your name?" Marcus asked as he worked. The woman was quiet for a long time. "Cannot say," she finally whispered. "That's okay," Marcus said. "Are you hungry?" She nodded quickly. Marcus could see she had not eaten in days. He went to the small kitchen and heated up some soup. It was simple food, vegetables, and protein from the station, but it smelled good. He brought it back with a soft spoon. The woman ate quickly, like someone who did not know when she would eat again. Marcus sat across from her, giving her space. "Are you running from something?" he asked quietly. The woman stopped eating. Fear filled her eyes again. "They find me. Bad things happen," she said. Marcus nodded. He had seen scared people before. "Sometimes the galaxy was not a kind place. You can stay here tonight," he said. "We'll figure out what to do tomorrow." The woman looked shocked. "You help me?" "Not. Know me. You need help," Marcus said simply. "That's enough." For the first time, the woman almost smiled. Marcus gave her clean clothes and showed her the small bathroom. When she came out, she looked better. The blue-silver color of her skin was brighter now. "Rest," Marcus said, pointing to his bed. "I'll sleep on the couch." "No," the woman said quickly. "Floor is good. Use the floor." Marcus frowned. "Nobody sleeps on my floor. Take the bed." The woman looked confused. "Why are you kind to stranger?" Marcus thought about it. "My mother always said, treat others like family until they give you reason not to. Family helps family." The woman's eyes filled with tears. "Family," she repeated softly. A loud sound came from outside the ship. Official voices echoed in the docking bay. The woman jumped up, terror on her face. "Station security," she whispered. "They look for me." Marcus moved to his small window and looked out. 3 security officers walked between the ships. They carried scanners and looked serious. "Hide," Marcus said quickly. He opened a small hidden space behind the wall panel. "Get in there. Don't make any sound." The woman crawled into the hiding space. Marcus closed the panel just as someone knocked on his ship's door. Marcus walked slowly to the door and opened it. A tall security officer stood outside with 2 others. "Evening, Captain Chen," the officer said. "Routine inspection. We're looking for someone who might be hiding on ships in this bay." "What kind of someone?" Marcus asked, trying to sound casual. "Young. Alien female. Blue skin. Possibly injured. Very dangerous," the officer said. "Mind if we look around?" Marcus stepped aside. "Of course. But I just got back from supply shopping. Haven't seen anyone." The officers searched his ship. They looked in the cargo hold, the kitchen, even his cabin. But they did not find the hidden space. "Ship's clean," one officer told the leader. "Thanks for your cooperation, Captain." The lead officer said, "If you see anything strange, contact us immediately." "Will do," Marcus said. After they left, Marcus waited 10 minutes before opening the hidden panel. The woman crawled out, shaking. "They say I'm dangerous," she said sadly. "Are you?" Marcus asked. She looked at him with honest eyes. "No, I just want to be free." Marcus nodded. "Then that's all I need to know." He started his ship's engines. It was time to leave this station. As they flew away from Kepler Station, the woman sat in the co-pilot chair. She watched the stars through the window. "My name is Zerathel," she said quietly. "Thank you for family kindness." Marcus smiled. "Nice to meet you, Zerathel. Welcome to the Wandering Star." Outside, the galaxy spread before them, full of stars and possibilities. Marcus did not know that he had just changed the course of galactic history. He only knew that someone needed help, and he had given it. That, after all, was what humans did best. 3 weeks had passed since Marcus found Zerathel in his cabin. The Wandering Star now felt different, warmer somehow. It was no longer just Marcus's ship. It had become their ship. Every morning, Marcus woke up to the smell of something cooking. Zerathel had learned to use his small kitchen. She mixed her own knowledge of alien foods with his simple Earth recipes. The results were often strange but always tasty. "Good morning, Zera," Marcus said as he walked into the kitchen area. He had started calling her by the shorter name. It felt more friendly. "Morning, Marcus," she replied, stirring something in a pot. Her galactic standard had improved a lot. "I make breakfast. You'll like it." Marcus smiled. 3 weeks ago, she had been afraid to speak. Now she hummed while she cooked. The scared, hurt woman was becoming someone new. After breakfast, they sat in the main area of the ship. Marcus had made some changes. He put up a privacy curtain around a corner space for Zera. He gave her soft pillows and blankets. On the walls, he hung star charts that showed beautiful nebulous and distant worlds. "Today I teach you something special," Marcus said. He pulled out a small wooden box. Inside were carved pieces, a chest set his father had made from asteroid minerals. The pieces were simple but beautiful. Each one told a story of places Marcus had been. "This is chess," Marcus explained. "It's a game from my home planet Earth." Zerathel picked up a small piece that looked like a horse. "What does this one do?" "That's a knight. It moves in an L shape." "Very tricky piece," Marcus said. He showed her how each piece moved. "The goal is to protect your king while trying to capture the other king." They played for hours. Zerathel was quick to learn. By the 3rd game, she was giving Marcus real challenges. "You're a good teacher," she said as she moved her queen. "Check," Marcus laughed. "You are a good student. To good. I think you might beat me soon." As they played, Zerathel asked questions about Earth and human customs. Marcus told her stories about his childhood, about his parents, about the blue skies and green forests of his home world. "Sounds beautiful," Zerathel said softly. "Why you leave?" Marcus moved his king to safety. "Space called to me. I wanted to see what was out there. Plus, Someone has to deliver supplies to the frontier stations. People need help out here. Always. Helping others, Zarathel said. Is that human thing? Maybe, Marcus said. My mother used to say we're all connected. When you help someone else, you help yourself too. Their peaceful afternoon was interrupted by a loud alarm. The ship's computer spoke in its calm voice. Warning. Navigation computer offline. Manual control required. Marcus jumped up and ran. To the pilot's chair. Zarathel followed him. Outside the window, they could see their problem. They were flying through an asteroid field. Thousands of floating rocks, some as big as buildings. Without the navigation computer, hitting one of them would destroy the ship. Can you fix it? Zarathel asked, worry in her voice. Marcus was already working at the control panel, his fingers moving quickly over buttons and screens, computers. Fried. Lightning storm back at the last station must have damaged something. The ship shook as a small asteroid bounced off their shields. So what we do? Zarathel asked. Marcus did something that surprised her. He started humming. It was an old Earth song his mother used to sing. As he hummed, his hands moved steadily over the controls. Manual navigation, Marcus said calmly. We calculate our path the old way. He pulled out a tablet and started working with numbers and star charts. His fingers moved like he was playing music. To Zarathel, it looked like magic. How you stay so calm? She asked. Marcus glanced at her while still calculating. Panic doesn't help. Problems are just puzzles. You solve them one step at a time. Another. Asteroid hit their shields, harder this time. The lights flickered. Marcus continued humming and working. Sarah, can you watch the rear sensors? Tell me if anything big comes from behind. Zarathel moved to the sensor station. She had watched Marcus use it many times. Clear behind us, she reported. Good. Now hold on. Marcus fired the engines and turned the ship. They slipped between two large asteroids with only meters to spare. Then another turn, and another beach. Move was smooth and careful. Zarathel watched in amazement. Marcus treated this deadly situation like a normal day's work. He hummed, calculated, and flew with steady confidence. There, Marcus said finally, we're through the worst of it. The asteroid field thinned out behind them, clear space stretched. Ahead, that was incredible, Zarathel said. You saved us. Marcus shrugged. Just did what needed doing. My dad taught me to fly through asteroid fields when I was young. Good practice. That evening, Zarathel helped Marcus fix the navigation computer. She learned about human tools and human methods. Everything was practical and simple, but effective. My people have advanced computers that do everything, she said as they worked. But if they break, we're helpless. Dad always said, no. How to do things the hard way, Marcus replied. Then the easy way is just a bonus later. They sat together in the observation area. Marcus had installed a large window there so they could watch the stars. He brought 2 cups of hot tea. Marcus, Zarathel said quietly, today you were sick with fever. Yes, Marcus looked surprised. Last week. Yes, why? You let me take care of you. You trust me. Marcus smiled. Of course, we're family now. Zarathel felt something warm in her chest. Family. This simple human word meant so much. Where I come from. She said carefully, people do not trust easy. Everyone wants something. What do I want from you? Marcus asked. Zarathel thought about it. For 3 weeks, Marcus had asked for nothing. He shared his food, his space, his time. He taught her games and stories. He protected her from danger. Nothing, she said finally. You want nothing from me. That's not true, Marcus said. I want you to be happy. I want you to feel safe. I want you to know you have a home here as long as you need it. Zarathel felt tears in her eyes. In her whole life, no one had ever said such words to her. Thank you, she whispered. Marcus reached over and patted her shoulder gently. That's what family does. As they watched the stars together, Zarathel began to understand something important. This human, this simple cargo ship captain, had given her something she had never known before. Not just safety or food or shelter. He had given her belonging. And for the first time in her life, She truly felt at home. The warning alarm screamed through the wandering star like an angry monster. Marcus jumped from his pilot chair and ran to the main controls. The screen showed something that made his heart stop. Ships, huge ships, more ships than Marcus had ever seen in one place. Zara, Marcus called. Come here, now. Zarathel ran from the kitchen, still holding a cooking spoon. When she saw the screen, her face went white. The spoon fell from her hand and hit the floor with a soft sound. No, she whispered. They found me. The ships were beautiful and terrible at the same time. They looked like giant sea creatures made of silver and blue light. Each one was bigger than a space station. There were at least 20 of them, arranged in a perfect circle around the wandering star. Marcus's small cargo ship looked like a tiny fish surrounded by whales. Zara, what are those ships? Marcus asked, but he already felt he knew the answer would change everything. Ethereal Dominion battle fleet. Zarathel said quietly. She sat down slowly. Like an old woman, Royal Guard ships. Royal Guard, Marcus turned to look at her. Zara, who are you? Before she could answer, a voice filled the ship. It was cold and powerful, speaking in perfect galactic standard. Small cargo vessel. You will prepare for boarding. You are harboring Royal Princess Zarathel Morandis. Return her immediately or face destruction. Marcus felt like someone had hit him in the stomach. Princess, he said softly. Zarathel looked at him with sad eyes. I wanted to tell you. Every day I wanted to tell you. But I was scared you would change. Change how? Everyone changes when they learn I am princess. They become afraid, or they want something from me, or they treat me like I'm made of glass. Tears ran down her blue-silver cheeks. You were first person who saw me as just me. The voice came again, louder this time. You have 5 minutes to comply. This is your only warning. Marcus walked to the communication panel. His hands were shaking, but not from fear. He was angry. This is Captain Marcus Chen of the cargo ship Wandering Star, he said into the microphone. The person on my ship is my guest. She stays where she wants to stay. Silence filled the space around them. Then a new voice came through, an older voice. Probably the fleet commander. Captain Chen, I'm Admiral Velter of the Royal Guard. You do not understand the situation. Princess Zarathel has duties to her people. She must return. What duties? Marcus asked. Zarathel grabbed his arm. Marcus, don't fight them. They will destroy you. But Marcus looked at her the same way he always had, like she was just Zara, the woman who made him breakfast and played chess with him every evening. Tell me what duties, he said to the Admiral. The princess is arranged to marry Warlord Kethver of the Iron Worlds. This marriage will bring peace between our peoples. She ran away from this responsibility. Marcus looked at Zarathel. Is this true? She nodded sadly. Kethver is a cruel man. He hurts people for fun. But my father says marriage will stop war between our worlds. Do you want to marry him? No, she whispered. I'd rather die. Marcus turned back to the communication panel. Admiral, she doesn't want to marry this person. Case closed. Captain Chen, you do not understand galactic politics. I understand just fine, Marcus interrupted. Nobody should be forced to marry someone they don't want to marry. That's not politics. That's just right and wrong. Admiral Velter's voice became harder. You are one small ship against an entire battle fleet. Be reasonable. Marcus did something that surprised everyone, including himself. He started laughing. Admiral, let me tell you something. I've been flying cargo ships for 10 years. You know what I've learned? Sometimes the right thing is also the stupid thing. And sometimes you have to do the stupid thing anyway. He pressed a button that sent a message on all emergency frequencies. Every ship in this part of space would hear it. This is Captain Marcus Chen. I am formally claiming sanctuary rights under the Ancient Galactic Accords, Section 12. Subsection 4. Any person seeking protection from forced marriage has the right to sanctuary. I am providing that. Sanctuary, Zarathel stared at Marcus. You know galactic law. My dad was a space lawyer before he became a pilot. Marcus said with a small smile. I learned a few things. The Admiral's voice came back. and now he sounded angry. Those laws are old and rarely used, but still legal, Marcus said. Check your law books. Admiral. For several minutes, there was silence. Marcus could imagine the frantic activity on the Dominion ships as they looked up old laws and tried to figure out what to do. Then something worse happened. More ships appeared on the scanner. These ships were different, black and red, with sharp edges like giant knives. They looked hungry and mean. Oh no, Zerathel whispered. Iron World ships, Kefir is here. A new voice filled the ship, rough and brutal. Admiral Velter, this is Warlord Kefir. I have come for my bride. Give her to me now, or I will take her by force. Warlord, the Admiral replied carefully. We are handling this situation according to law. I care nothing for your laws, Kefir shouted. The girl belongs to me. I will board that cargo ship and take her. Marcus watched his scanner as more Iron World ships appeared. They formed up in attack formation, pointing their weapons at both the Dominion fleet and the Wandering Star. Great, Marcus muttered. Now we have the fleets arguing over you? Zerathel looked scared. Marcus, Kefir will kill you just for fun. Please, let me go. Save yourself. Marcus sat down in his pilot chair and started checking his ship's systems. Nope. What? I said nope. You're family now. Remember, family doesn't abandon family. But you will die. Marcus looked at her with calm eyes. Maybe. But I won't live knowing I gave up someone I care about to save my own skin. That's not who I am. The communication channel crackled with angry voices as the Admiral and the Warlord argued. Their fleets moved closer to each other, weapons charging. Marcus opened the channel again. Hey, both of you, listen up. The arguing stopped. This is still my ship, and Zera is still my guest. Admiral, your laws say she has sanctuary rights. Warlord, your laws probably say you can't just attack neutral ships without cause. So here's what we're going to do. Marcus took a deep breath. He was about to do the most dangerous thing in his life. We're all going to calm down and talk about this like civilized people. Because right now, you're all acting like children fighting over a toy. The silence that followed was so complete, Marcus could hear his own heartbeat. Then both fleets began moving closer to his tiny ship. Marcus, Zerathel whispered. I think you just made them both very angry. Marcus smiled grimly. Good. Angry people make mistakes, and I'm counting on that. The first sign of trouble was a loud bang against the ship's hull. Then another. Then the sound of metal cutting through metal. They're boarding us, Marcus said. Checking his screens, Kefir's soldiers are cutting through the cargo bay door. Zerathel grabbed Marcus's arm. We have to run. Your escape pods won't work, Marcus said calmly. Both fleets would shoot us down before we got 50 meters. He stood up from his pilot chair. Time for Plan B. What is Plan B? Marcus smiled. It was not a nice smile. Make them very sorry they decided to board my ship. He ran to the control panel and started pressing buttons. All around the ship, systems came to life. The cargo bay lights went out. Emergency barriers slammed shut, separating different sections of the ship. What are you doing? Zerathel asked. My ship, my rules, Marcus said. I know every pipe, every wire, every hiding spot on this ship. They don't, through the security cameras. They watched Kefir's soldiers break into the cargo bay. There were 6 of them, big and heavily armed. They wore black armor and carried energy weapons. The soldiers looked around the dark cargo bay with their helmet lights. They moved toward the door that led to the main ship. Marcus pressed another button. The door opened, but instead of a hallway, the soldiers found themselves facing the ship's automatic cargo loader. Heavy metal arms swung down and began moving cargo containers around. The soldiers had to jump and dodge to avoid being hit. Warning, cargo loading in progress. The ship's computer announced cheerfully, please stand clear of moving equipment. 1. Soldier tried to shoot the cargo loader, but Marcus had already thought of that. The moment the soldier fired, emergency foam sprayed from the ceiling, covering his weapon and making it useless. That's the fire safety system, Marcus explained to Zerathel as they watched. Very sensitive to energy weapons. The soldiers finally made it past the cargo loader. only to find the next door sealed shut. They started cutting again. Marcus let them cut for a few minutes, then opened the door remotely. The soldiers rushed through, straight into the hydroponics bay. This was where Marcus grew his small garden of earth plants. But now he had programmed the watering system to spray everything with nutrient-rich plant food. The floor became slippery, the air filled with mist that made it hard to see. The soldiers slipped and slid, trying to find their way through the maze of plant shelves. Meanwhile, Marcus had activated the UV growing lights at full power. Even through their armor, the soldiers were getting very hot and uncomfortable. "This is taking too long," Zerathel said, watching the screens. "More soldiers will come." "Actually," Marcus said, "I'm hoping they do." He opened the ship's communication system, but this time he connected to all three groups: the Dominion fleet, the Iron World ships, and the soldiers inside his ship. "Attention everyone," Marcus announced. "This is Captain Chen. I think we need to talk." "Chen." Kefver's angry voice came through the speakers. "Release my soldiers, or I will destroy your ship, Admiral Velter," Marcus continued, ignoring the Warlord Kefver. "And you soldiers currently trying to steal my hydroponics equipment. We have a problem here." One of the soldiers in the garden area spoke into his radio. "Sir, this human has turned his ship into some kind of maze. We're covered in plant food and can't find the princess." Marcus smiled. "That's because you're looking in the wrong place. You see, this whole situation is really just a business dispute, and I've handled plenty of those." "Business dispute?" Admiral Velter sounded confused. "Sure," Marcus said, sitting back in his chair like he was discussing shipping schedules. "Let me break it down for you, Admiral. Your government made a deal to trade Princess Zerathel for peace. Warlord, you paid for a bride. Princess, you don't want to be traded or bought. Everyone has needs here. Let's find a solution that works for everybody." "There is no solution," Keffer roared. "The girl is mine by law." "Which law?" Marcus asked. "Because I've been thinking about this, and I see several legal problems." He had been thinking about it during the 3 weeks with Zerathel. Marcus had researched galactic marriage laws on his computer. His father had taught him to always understand the contracts he was dealing with. "First," Marcus said, "forced marriage violates at least 12 galactic accords. Second, Warlord, you're currently attacking a neutral ship in neutral space, which is piracy. Third, Admiral, your princess has formally requested sanctuary, which your own laws say you must honor." "You dare lecture me about law?" Keffer shouted. "I'm not lecturing anybody," Marcus said reasonably. "I'm just pointing out that nobody here is getting what they really want. Admiral, you want peace. Warlord, you want to expand your territory. Princess, you want freedom. These things aren't impossible to achieve." Zerathel stared at Marcus. "What are you doing?" "Watch and learn," Marcus whispered to her. He opened the channel again. "So here's what I propose. Instead of fighting and making everybody unhappy, why don't we find a better way?" "What way?" Admiral Velter asked. He sounded curious despite himself. "Warlord Keffer, you want more territory and resources, right? Well, forced marriage isn't the only way to get those things. Trade partnerships work better and last longer." "I do not need trade," Keffer started. "Actually, you do," Marcus interrupted. "Your iron worlds have lots of minerals, but not much food production. The ethereal Dominion has agricultural worlds, but needs metals for their technology. You could make more profit trading with each other than fighting." There was silence for a moment. Marcus could imagine both leaders thinking about this, and Princess. Marcus continued, "You want freedom, but you also care about your people, right? You don't want them to suffer in a war." "Yes," Zerathel said softly. "So what if you help negotiate this trade partnership? Not as a princess being traded, but as a diplomatic representative working for peace." Admiral Velter spoke slowly. "You are suggesting an alternative to the marriage alliance." "I'm suggesting a better alliance," Marcus said. "One based on mutual profit instead of force. Those always work better." "This is stupid," Keffer yelled. "I want my bride." "Why?" Marcus asked simply. The question seemed to surprise everyone. What do you mean? Why? Kefir demanded. I mean, what do you really get for marrying Princess Zerathel? Political alliance with the Dominion. You can get that through trade agreements. Access to their technology, same thing. Proof that you're powerful? Warlord, you command a battle fleet. I think people already know you're powerful. Marcus paused. The only thing marriage gives you that trade doesn't is control over another person. And that's not really power. That's just cruelty. The communication channel went very quiet. So here's my proposal, Marcus said. I'll transport representatives from both your governments to the Galactic Council Station. Princess Zerathel can serve as a neutral mediator. You can work out a real peace agreement, one that benefits everyone. You, Admiral Velter asked, transport our representatives. Why not? I'm neutral. I'm not involved in your politics. And my ship is already equipped for diplomatic immunity under sanctuary law. Marcus looked at Zerathel, who was staring at him with amazement. What do you say? Marcus asked the fleets, ready to try something that might actually work. For a long moment, nobody spoke. Two massive battle fleets hung in space around one small cargo ship, while a human cargo captain waited for an answer that could change the galaxy. Finally, Admiral Velter spoke. It is an interesting proposal. Even Warlord Kefir sounded less angry. The trade possibilities, they have merit. Marcus grinned. Great. So can you call off your soldiers? They're making a mess of my garden. The journey to the Galactic Council Station took 2 weeks for Marcus. It was the strangest 2 weeks of his life. His small cargo ship had become a floating diplomatic center. In the main area sat Admiral Velter, a tall silver-skinned woman with wise eyes. At the chess table, Warlord Kefir studied the pieces with surprising concentration. Near the window, Zerathel worked on her tablet, preparing documents for the council meeting. Your move, Admiral, Kefir said, pointing to the chessboard. Marcus smiled as he cooked dinner in the kitchen. 3 weeks ago, these same people had been pointing weapons at each other. Now they were playing chess and sharing meals. It had not been easy at first. On the second day of their journey, Admiral Velter and Warlord Kefir had gotten into a shouting match about old battles. Marcus had calmly walked between them and handed each a mop. If you're going to argue on my ship, he had said, you can clean my ship while you do it. Both leaders had stared at him in shock. This is ridiculous, Kefir had protested. I'm a warlord, and I'm a ship captain, Marcus had replied. On my ship, everyone helps with the work. That includes warlords and admirals. To everyone's surprise, Admiral Velter had picked up her mop. The human is right. We are guests here. Kefir had grumbled, but he had started cleaning to now. 2 weeks later, Marcus watched Kefir help Zerathel set the table for dinner. The feared warlord had learned to fold napkins and arrange plates. More importantly, he had learned to listen when other people talked. Dinner is ready, Marcus announced. They all sat around the small table together. This had become their daily routine. Marcus served simple food, vegetables, protein, bread. But it tasted better somehow when shared with others. Tomorrow we reach the council station, Admiral Velter said. Are we ready? Zerathel nodded. I have prepared 3 different peace proposals. Each one gives both sides what they need most. Marcus felt proud of her. Over the past 2 weeks, Zerathel had changed. She no longer acted like a scared refugee or a spoiled princess. She acted like a leader, someone who cared about solving problems and helping people. What if the council refuses to hear us? Kefir asked. He had changed too. His voice was still rough, but the anger was gone. He asked questions instead of making demands. They will hear us, Admiral Velter said confidently. This proposal is too good to ignore, Marcus agreed. The trade partnership plan had grown during their journey. It was no longer just about avoiding war between 2 groups. It was about creating a new kind of cooperation between many different worlds. Kefir, Zerathel said, your iron worlds have mining technology that could help other planets. Admiral, the Dominion has agricultural knowledge that frontier worlds desperately need. If we share these things, everyone benefits, Kefir finished. He had learned to think this way during their chess games with Marcus. Every move helped. your own pieces while creating opportunities for future cooperation. After dinner, they worked together to clean up. This was also part of their routine now. Admiral Velter washed dishes. Kethra dried them. Zerathel cleaned the table. Marcus put everything away. Marcus, Admiral Velter said as they worked, "May I ask you something?" "Sure." "Why do you do this?" "Make us work together, eat together, help each other." Marcus thought about it while putting dishes in the cabinet. "My grandmother used to say that. Strangers are just family you haven't met yet. When people share food and work together, they stop being strangers. Is that human wisdom?" Kethra asked. "Maybe," Marcus said. "Or maybe it's just common sense." That night, as they approached the council station, Marcus found Zerathel standing by the observation window. She was looking at the huge station ahead of them, a giant ring of metal and lights spinning slowly in space. Nervous, Marcus asked, standing beside her. "A little," she admitted. "What if this doesn't work?" "Then we try something else," Marcus said simply. "Problems don't go away just because you ignore them. You keep working until you find an answer." Zerathel was quiet for a moment. "Marcus, I need to tell you something." "What?" "I'm not going back to the Dominion. Not as a princess, anyway." Marcus looked at her. "What do you mean?" "I want to give up my claim to the throne. Let my younger brother rule. Instead, he's better at politics than me anyway." She turned to face Marcus. "I want to do something different with my life." "Like what?" "Like this," she said, gesturing around the ship, "helping people solve problems, building bridges between different groups, maybe working with the Galactic Council as a mediator." Marcus smiled. "Sounds like a good plan." "There's one more thing," Zerathel said. "I want to keep traveling with you, if you'll have me." Marcus felt warm happiness fill his chest. "This is your home to now. You can stay as long as you want." The next morning, they docked at the council station. Marcus had never seen anything so big. The docking bay alone was larger than most cities. The council meeting was held in a huge, round room with representatives from hundreds of different worlds. Marcus felt very small sitting at the speaker's table. But something amazing happened when Zerathel began to present their proposal. She did not speak like a princess giving orders. She spoke like someone sharing an idea with friends. She told the story of their journey, how enemies had become allies by working together and treating each other with respect. "This is not just about trade between the Dominion and the Iron Worlds," she said. "This is about showing that cooperation works better than conflict, that sharing benefits everyone more than hoarding." When Admiral Velter spoke, she talked about the practical benefits, how shared technology could solve problems that had troubled many worlds for years. When Kethra spoke, he surprised everyone. The feared warlord talked about learning to see former enemies as potential partners, about finding strength in helping others instead of conquering them. But the moment that changed everything came when a young council member asked Marcus, "Question, Captain. Chen, what makes you think this partnership will last?" "History shows that most alliances fail eventually." Marcus stood up slowly. He looked around the huge room at hundreds of different alien faces. "You're right," he said. "Most alliances do fail. You know why? Because they're built on fear or greed or necessity. Those things change, but some things don't change." He pointed to his companions at the table. 3 weeks ago, these people were enemies. Today they're family. What changed? They learned that taking care of each other makes everyone stronger. They learned that everyone has something valuable to offer. They learned that home isn't a place, it's the people you choose to be with. Marcus paused. "This partnership will work because it's not really about trade or politics. It's about building a bigger family, and family lasts." The room was completely quiet. Then, slowly, applause began. It started with just a few beings, then spread until the entire chamber was clapping, cheering, and making approval sounds in dozens of different languages. 6 months later, Marcus stood on the observation deck of the Wandering Star and watched the construction of the first cooperative trade station. Ships from dozens of worlds came and went, carrying goods, knowledge, and hope. Zerathel worked at a desk nearby, coordinating diplomatic missions. She wore simple clothes now instead of royal robes. She looked happier than Marcus had ever seen. Her new message from Admiral Velter, she said. 3 more worlds want to join the cooperative. Good news, Marcus said. How about Kethfer? He's doing well. His people are becoming the galaxy's best mining consultants. He says he enjoys building things more than breaking them, Marcus nodded. People can change when you give them the chance. Through the window, he could see a small ship approaching their docking bay. Another diplomat, or trader, or someone looking for help solving a problem. The wandering star had become known throughout this part of the galaxy as a place where enemies could become friends. Marcus, Zerathel said, looking up from her work. Do you ever regret it, taking me in that first night? Marcus thought about it. His simple life as a cargo hauler was gone forever. Now he was a diplomatic transport captain, carrying the future of the galaxy in his cargo hold. No regrets. He said, this is better, even though everything changed. Marcus smiled and watched another ship dock safely at the station. Everything changed because one scared person needed help, and it seemed like the right thing to do. If that's not worth it, I don't know what is, as the stars wheeled around them. Marcus understood something important. Humans might not be the strongest or smartest or most advanced species in the galaxy, but they knew how to make strangers into family, and sometimes that was enough to change everything.